Welcome to Elizabeth Lee Arts. I'm Elizabeth. Today is going to be a very short video. I am working on a tray in a color combination that I love. The color combination is browns, bronze, and turquoise. I'll be using a combination of mica powder and pigment paste. So I've already mixed my resin, and I've got these beautiful colors, browns, and I'm using different manufacturers. So one of these is, I'm looking for the names. Okay, one of them is Rolio Mudpie brown, one of the dark browns, and the other one is, that one, it is Meyspring bronze stone. And then I'm using Color Passion. This one, isn't this color gorgeous? This one is bronze luster. And that's right here. And I'm also using Color Passion turquoise. Right here. And then, and that's also a mica powder. And then in a pigment paste, I'm using, I believe this is called Thornton. I will correct myself later. This is a very, it's like a teal turquoise. And then for the white, I did a combination of two different things. It is a combination of paste and powder. For the paste, I am using Resin Expressions Angel White. And then I add a white mica powder to it from Eye Candy, which is Shiro white. So you don't have to stick with one manufacturer. Now, as you can see, I have my bamboo tray with handles, and it already has a brown coating. I like adding a coating of resin in my trays before I add my artwork. I am using a Lazy Susan underneath it so I can easily turn it around while I'm working and can get to every angle on my tray. So, first thing I do, I've mixed my resin. This is probably about 20-25 minutes I have mixed. And I just pour in any direction. There's no rhyme or reason to what I do. I'm just gonna pour my browns first. And this is about, for what I use on this piece is, I'm gonna say about 8 to 10 ounces, probably closer to 8. Now I'm gonna add this bronze luster, which I absolutely love. It's like a pop of copper. It's really not bronze, it's really a copper color. Love, love, love this color. Now, before I add the turquoise, I'm going to use a palette knife to kind of create a little bit of design and move this out and make sure that I'm covering the entire piece. And you can see the great thing about using this plastic Lazy Susan, I can keep turning it. You don't want to get it onto the edges of the piece, so be careful. Typically, I will keep a cloth or something near me, like a baby wipe. Oh, let me get them. I keep baby wipes near me. Always have my baby wipes available. Now, I'm going to spray it, hit it first with the torch, very lightly, and then I'm going to blow it out with my heat gun. Now, some people like putting a attachment on the heat gun. For this one, I'm not using an attachment. I don't need to focus my direction. I want it to cover everything. So basically now what I'm doing is I'm heating it up so it flows a little bit better, because I really don't have a lot of work time. Now this is the thing you need to, if you're new to resin, you need to learn is what is the work time with your resin. Resin is a chemical, and depending on the temperature in your room, the humidity, the temperature outside will determine how fast or slow your resin will cure or harden. As you can see, I'm wearing my gloves, and I will never touch the edges of my piece if my gloves have any resin on it. I don't want to hurt, damage the piece at all. So what you will notice is there's some little, I call them floaties or floaters in the bronze. And that's because it's a metallic. Metallics will tend to have these little floating pieces in it, and that's from the bronze luster. So anytime you use a metallic, even with some of the paste, but more with the mica, it will have these little floating pieces. I feel like it adds some character to my pieces. So I'm just now moving the resin a little bit, making sure that all edges are covered before I add the turquoise and that teal color and the white. I love the brown and turquoise combination. This is something I haven't done in a while. I'm realizing it's really not working to get over here. So I'm just going to move this manually rather than tipping my piece. And I'm not worried about the design yet, because the design will come when I add the turquoise and the white. So now, I'm not going to use all of this. I definitely mixed too much. I just want little spots of turquoise in here. I'm going to add a little bit of the bronze on top of it. Kind of like a paint pour, but it's really not. It's a resin pour. You probably have seen some really cool videos with paint pours. Well, resin and paint, acrylic paint, have very different types of effects. So they're going to turn out different, even though I'm pouring it similar. I'm using my torch again just to heat up the piece a little. Now I'm going to use my palette knife, and I'm going to clean it off before I use it. And fold my sweatshirt back. Just make some cool designs in here. It doesn't look like much now, but it will. That's the beautiful thing about resin, is that you never know what you're going to get. Clean this off, and I clean it off above the piece so it doesn't drip on the edges. Oops, I got resin on my glove. Clean it off. And now I'm going to try blowing it again a little bit. with the heat on. Again, I really don't have a lot of work time right now. It's a very warm day out here. It's the middle of the summer in Maryland. Temperatures going up to 90 degrees outside. And it is about 72 in my workroom. So even though it's 72 in the workroom, it's warm outside, which definitely has an effect on how my work comes out. It's interesting the difference between the winter and the summer, how my pieces turn out. Oh, I like this. This turned out pretty. You know, I could keep it like this, and I'm right now debating it, keeping it looking this way, but I think I want the white running through. So I'm keeping my handles on the side, and I'm going to run the white through in the middle. But before I pour the white, I'm pouring the pigment paste of that turquoise, just a little bit, a lot of it. And then I'm going to pour that white mixture over it. Now remember, the white has a combination of paste and powder. I'll show you why in a moment. I feel like this keeps the white looking better and more vibrant. If I wanted it to be a subtle white, I would have only used a pigment paste, and it would look more like this. I only used pigment paste on this piece, but I want it to be vibrant, a really stark white. So, using my torch, going over just to add some heat so it moves really well. I have a few more minutes to go, not much. I am going to turn this sideways, blow it this way, then I'm going to turn it and blow it the other way. You see, because I have the powder in there, it's staying whiter. It's definitely a more, but as you can see, I'm getting great cells. The cells are a combination of using pigment paste underneath it, that really cool teal, and adding paste to the white. It helps to create better cells. It's really pretty. Pushing it all the way out. Heat up this area so it will pick up the white as I push it. And you may have loved it as is without the white. I happen to have wanted white in this piece. I've made them without white. I just left it without having this wave in it. I make them both ways. So now there are a few things you can do. You can use your palette knife to pull some of this around. You can move it by tipping the piece just to get it to move in different areas. But what I like to do, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to pull some of this white out. Very lightly with my palette knife. And that could with pooling too much on the edges. And I want to pull some of the brown from below into the piece. One more blow on this. I'm really at the end of my work time. I'm realizing it's really not moving much. Definitely waited too long to pour. And as you can see, the brown is coming through, which is what I was looking to accomplish. Now you can see the cells are really showing up really cool now. They're really blowing out beautifully. So the last thing I do is around the edges, because it kind of looks muddy and I don't want it to look that way. I go over just the edges and stay away from the white. If you torch your white too much, it's gonna end up burning. I'm just gonna go around the edges. And what this does is it will bring the brown a little bit more back to life. Whoop, burn, be careful when you do that. That's what I mean by burning. Remember, resin's a chemical. So you have to be careful. A few things to note. I am in a very well ventilated room. I have windows open. I have my ventilator in here. It's an air purifier that I use, and I will have that listed in my description. The one that I have. Which really it's pretty much what painters will use, people who are working with chemicals, to pull the chemicals out of the air. Also, I'm using a resin that has low VOCs and no odor. It is the JDiction High Gloss Epoxy, and I'm gonna try right now. Let's see if I can take this off. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I want to take this off the stand and show you what this really looks like. Okay, take a look at all those really cool dimensions. The brown and the turquoise, and it does look blue on here, but it is turquoise and teal. Isn't that really beautiful? Okay, so the last thing I'll do is I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours, and then I'm going to put a clear coat on it. And again, I'm going to use the JDiction High Gloss Epoxy. Now, I use that for several reasons. Like I said, no VOCs, low odor, really no odor. And it says high gloss on it. Not exaggerating, it is truly a high gloss epoxy. And what I've found over the years of using it, no yellowing. There will be a link in the description. You can buy it on Amazon if you want, or you can buy it on their website, and I have a code in there where you will get, I believe it's 10% off. So let's take a look again. See how pretty this is? This really turned out nice. So thanks for joining. Ask me any questions you'd like in the comments. And please follow me here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and please look at my website if you'd like to order anything. I am always available to do custom pieces. Thanks. Have a great day and enjoy your resin. Bye-bye.